In this video, I'm going to discuss a general procedure for distribution. And it's not necessary for you to learn two different methods for multiplying polynomials. It turns out that foiling is just a special case of this idea. So the idea here is that we're multiplying two polynomial factors, and we're going to multiply each term in the first factor to every term in the second. For example, if I was going to multiply these two polynomials, I'd start with the first term in the first factor. I'd multiply it to x squared to get x to the fourth. I'd multiply it to negative x to subtract the x cubed. And I'd multiply it to the subtract 2 to subtract a 2x squared. I'd then move to the next term in the first factor. I'd multiply 2 to x squared to get plus 2x squared. I'd multiply the 2 to subtract x to get subtract 2x. And then I'd multiply the 2 to the subtract 2, and I'd be subtracting 4. Last, I'd collect like terms. I have x to the fourth minus x cubed. Now these two terms will go to 0. I'll be left with a subtract 2x and a subtract 4. So here's my final product. Here's one for you to try. We'd begin in the first factor with x squared. This would give us x to the fourth plus x cubed minus x squared. We'd then move to the second term. Now remember, we're thinking of this as plus a negative 3. So we're going to be multiplying negative 3 to all three terms. This will give us negative 3x squared. And then we'll be subtracting 3x. And we'll be adding a 3. This is a place that students often have trouble with at first. So make sure you have a plus 3 here. Now I'll collect like terms. I have x to the fourth plus x cubed minus 4x squared minus 3x plus 3. Here's another. Starting with the first term, I'm going to have negative 4x to the fourth plus 4x cubed plus 8x squared. Moving to the second term, I'll be adding 2x cubed, I'll be subtracting 2x squared, and I'll be subtracting 4x. Collecting like terms, I'll have negative 4x to the fourth, I'll have 6x cubes, I'll have 6x squareds, and I'll subtract 4x. Try this one. Starting with the first term, I'm going to get x to the fourth plus x cubed minus x squared. Moving to the second term, I'm going to get subtract x cubed, subtract x squared, and add an x. And then moving to the third term, I'm going to add an x squared, add an x, and subtract a 1. And here's my result after collecting like terms. This one has 3 factors. Please multiply left to right. By order of operations, we multiply left to right. So this will give us 6x squared minus 2x. Now we're going to multiply this product to our next factor. This will give us 6x cubed plus 24x squared minus 2x squared minus 8x. Notice this is just foiling here, so foiling is just a special case of what we're doing. And then I'll collect like terms. Try this one. First, I'll multiply my first two factors together and get r squared minus r. Then I'll get r to the fourth minus r cubed minus r squared minus r cubed plus r squared plus r. Make sure that both of these are additions. and I'll collect like terms. And here's our last one. See how you do. First, I'll multiply my two binomials together, and here's my product. Next, I'll multiply this product to x plus 2, and here's my terms. Last, I'll collect like terms. I'll have k to the fourth. My third degree terms are opposites and will go to 0. My second degree terms are also opposites and will go to 0, as will my first degree terms, and I'll be left with subtract 16. Well, that concludes this video where we practiced a general procedure for multiplying polynomials.